What's going on, guys? United Gaming back with another MLB The Show 20 video. It isn't really an MLB The Show 20 video, though. We're going to be talking about my MLB season predictions for the 2021 season. We're just going to be inside of MLB The Show talking about it. I'm going to give you guys my reasons. I'm going to give you guys my World Series champions as well. This won't be an extremely in-depth analytical approach to it. That made no sense. We won't look at it as in-depth, but I will give you my ratings and stuff. We're going to go division by division. So, starting it off with the AL East in last place, I got the Boston Red Sox. I don't know why. Last year they were in last place too. I just don't see them going anywhere. I mean, what they did off-season, they got Kike Hernandez, and they got Hunter Renfroe, but besides that, not a whole lot of big moves from them. I just don't see them being a good team. Chris Sale isn't coming back until like June-ish. I just don't see them being a good team at all. Red Sox 5th place. In 4th place, I got the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, I see them being a little bit of a step above the Red Sox, but still extremely bad. Nowhere close to where the Yankees, the Rays, and the Blue Jays are. Those two teams are definitely the bottom of the barrel in the AL East. Going into 3rd place, I got Tampa Bay Rays, former AL champs from last year. They took a massive step down. Lost Blake Snell. They lost Charlie Morton. That's a massive step down, and that's a key part of your success. And Randy Rosarena is finally going to come back down to earth. So, yeah, and especially with the moves the Yankees and Blue Jays made, I just don't see the Rays making it into the playoffs this year and not even finishing top 2 in the division. Now, if we're going to look at our 2nd place team, I got the Toronto Blue Jays. They made so many key offseason moves. They got George Springer, Marcus Semien. Who else did they get? They got a lot of really good players. Besides that, they got Kirby Yates. They got so many good teams. Although Yates is hurt, as of right now, still got a lot of good players on that team. It is going to be super good. It's going to be super fun to watch, except for me. I'm a Yankees fan. But anyway, it will be a fun team. They will be a good team. 2nd place AL East, I got the Blue Jays. And 1st place, of course, I got my Yankees. I'm a Yankees fan. They're the best team in the American League, in my opinion. They're just super good. I don't really need an in-depth explanation for this one. Yankees are winning the AL East. Going down to the American League Central, in last place in that division, I got the Detroit Tigers. They aren't going to get much better. They're going to get Casey Mize. I do think he'll perform. I do think some of their other prospects will perform, but they are still a massive step from being a good team. Spencer Torkelson's coming through the farm system. He's not even close to being a major leaguer. Tigers just flat out aren't that good of a team. I have them finishing last. And in 4th place, I got Kansas City Royals. They got Mike Minor, which is going to be a great piece of the rotation, but they still aren't an amazing team. They're good, don't get me wrong, but, like, they just don't have the pieces to compete in this division. It is a very good division, and they don't have the pieces to compete in it. That's why they're coming in 4th. In 3rd, I got the Cleveland baseball team. They took a massive step back. They lost a lot of key pieces. They lost Francisco Lindor. They lost Carlos Carrasco. Mike Clevenger got lost last year. But still, they are still a good team. They got Shane Bieber, Jose Ramirez. Their outfield is still kind of weak, but they added Eddie Rosario, so that's a good pickup. I still do think they'll be a bit of a competitive team. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I do think they will compete for a spot, at least in the American League Central. No, I don't think they'll be better than the Twins and the White Sox, but I do think they'll be close, coming in 3rd. And in 2nd, I got the Minnesota Twins. Didn't do a lot this offseason. They got Jay Happ and Andrelton Simmons. Those are the main 2 moves that they made. Besides that, they didn't really make any headlines that I can think of the top of my head. They were so good, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, they got to make some more moves. They just don't have that good of a pitching. That's why I come in 2nd. And 1st place, I got the White Sox. Now, I mean, White Sox are probably the 2nd best team in the American League behind the Yankees. They are extremely good. They got a good pitching staff. They got an okay bullpen. Their offense is absolutely stacked. But with the loss of Eloy Jimenez, that is going to hurt them greatly. He's going to be out for most of the year, so that is going to do a deep step back for the White Sox, but they're still going to cruise away with this division, in my opinion. Moving on to the AL West. Moving on to the AL West, in last place, I got the Texas Rangers. They aren't good. They are terrible. They're probably the worst team in the American League East. They are just really bad. I can't phrase that any other way. They are a bad team. Let's move on. 4th place, I got Seattle Mariners. They got James Paxton. They got Ken Giles, so I think a lot of people forgot about it. But besides that, they don't make a whole lot of headline moves. They got Marco Gonzalez. They still got Paxton. They got Yusei Kikuchi, I guess. I hope he'll take a step forward. Bullpen, okay. They got Ken Giles. That's about it. But besides that, they just don't have a lot of depth. I mean, Mitch Haniger, Kyle Lewis. I can't name any big names on that team besides that. They're a fourth-place team. There's just nothing else I can say about that. In third place, I'm going to go with the Houston Astros. Now, this is probably a hot take. I mean, they got Bregman back. They got quite a few guys. They got Correa. They got Altuve. Even though they lost Springer, they still got a lot of good guys. But I don't know why. I just don't see them doing well. In my eyes, I just don't see them doing well. For some reason, I just don't see them succeeding. Their bullpen isn't great. They've lost Roberto Ozuna. They don't have Verlander all year. He's a big piece. So, I mean, even though they made it really far last year, I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I don't know why. I just got this feeling they're not going to do well. In second place, I got the Angels, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Rendon, David Fletcher. Get me on that train. I'm super hyped for the Angels this year. I hope they would go in first place, but they just don't have the pitching depth for that. They're a good team. Their offense is great. They just don't have the pitching to be a first place team. As good as they are, I just can't see the pitching holding up throughout a whole season and being good enough to propel them into first place. And in first place, I got the Oakland Athletics. They just seem to work their magic every single year. Oakland A's magic. I mean, they lost Liam Hendricks. They lost Marcus Semien. Despite that, I still think the A's are going to win the division. They just got this little spark to them. The A's just always seem to figure it out. They always seem to play good baseball. I do think this division is kind of weak, and I don't think they'll win like 100 games. But I still think the Oakland A's will get this division. I think it'll be close, and I kind of hope the Angels do win it. But I do realistically see the A's are taking this division. We're going to now move on to the NL. Starting things off with the AL East in last place, I got the Miami Marlins. They made the playoffs last year. Sure, that was a 60-game season fluke. There's nothing more about it. That was a fluke. 60-game seasons, stuff like that is going to happen. It won't translate well into 162 games. It just won't happen. In fourth place, I got the Philadelphia Phillies. As good as players they have Real Muto, best catcher in the league. They have Bryce Harper, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler. The NL East is such a good division. I just don't see them going anywhere with it. As good as this division is, they can't make a run for it. I'm sorry, Phillies fans. You are a good team, don't get me wrong. You still have some holes missing. You still have that terrible, terrible bullpen. But despite you being a good team, and probably if you were in the Central, you'd probably win it, you are just going to finish in fourth place in this stacked division. In third place, I got the Washington Nationals. I don't know why, I'm just riding on them. They got Josh Bell, I feel really good about him. Kyle Schwarber, I feel good about as well. They got John Lester. They also got Brad Hand. They got a pretty underrated good offseason. Plus, the guys I already had. Scherzer, Strasburg. They had Soto, who's a beast. Trey, Turner. Carter Keyboom as well. So many good guys on that team. I expect great things from the Nationals. And even though they're a third-place team, I still expect great things from them coming in third place. In second place, I got the New York Mets. Sorry, Mets fans. You had a great offseason, but you're still a second-place team. The Braves are still better. I mean, of course, they got Lindor. They got Carrasco. They got James McCann. They got so many good guys that improved their team a bunch. Their team is so much better than it was, and I do think they're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to win their division. The Braves are still a better team than them, and they are my first place pick for the NL East. Still got Freeman. They still got so many good guys. They got Albies. They got Ozuna. They got Acuna. How did I forget about Acuna? They got a decent bullpen. It's not great. Their pitching is not great in general, but they got Mike Soroka, who's coming back. I mean, Max Fried was incredible last year, and a bunch of other young, great arms. I expect great things out of the Braves. I hope they can make the World Series again, and maybe even they do. All right, so now we're going to move on to the NL Central. The NL Central is probably the worst division in baseball, but of course, in last place, it's Pittsburgh Pirates. Worst team in baseball, they suck. The only good player on that team is Brian Hayes. They are just a bad team. I can't say anything else about them. In fourth place, I got the Cincinnati Reds. Yes, they made the postseason last year, but does that mean they were a spectacular team? No, they lost Trevor Bauer, which is a big reason for their success, and I honestly just don't see great things out of them. They did not have a good offseason, and this division is pretty mediocre, and I think that the Reds are the most mediocre of them all, coming in 4th place. In 3rd place, I'm sorry, Cubs fans, year off from winning the division, I just don't see it going any further than that. I mean, Bryant's definitely taking a step back. Baez, he had a good season. I'm not sure about him. Lost Darvish, lost Schwarber. I mean, you got Jock Peterson. He's good, but really seems like their team is taking a step back from the World Series when it was. As much as I love the Cubs, I don't see them doing that well, honestly. I see them as a 3rd place team. In 2nd place, I got the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm riding on the Brew Crew. I love them. Christian Yelich, bounce back season. Colton Wong, they got him. And I do like their pitching staff. Brandon Woodrum, Corbin Burns. Of course, Josh Hader will also have a great season. And Devin Williams. They have 2 of the best closers in the league. 2 of the best relief pitchers in the National League. And they're on the same team, which is incredible. Devin Williams and Hader are just amazing. They got good pitching. They got pretty solid offense. Just got to build a little bit more around Yelich during the trade deadline. Then I see them coming in 2nd place. Maybe sinking into wild card. Probably not, though. In 1st place, I got St. Louis Cardinals. Got Nolan Arenado. Lost Colton Wong, but they got Nolan Arenado. It's Nolan Arenado, people. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt on the same team. Plus Jack Flaherty. They got a good team. I can't say the less. It's going to be a 90-win season. They're not going to win 100 games. They're not going to be the best team in the National League, and it's not even going to be by far. But since the division is so weak, and they got kind of a powerhouse team, I see the Cardinals winning the NL Central. Now we're going to move on to the NL West. In last place, Colorado Rockies. They lost Nolan Arenado. Huge piece. And I just don't see anything coming out of them. They are just not a good team. They are in severe rebuild mode. I sure hope they trade Trevor Story at the deadline. They're going to be one of the worst teams in baseball. As much as I love the Rockies, I don't expect anything out of them. In 4th place, I got the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte, I want a bounce-back season from him. I hope he gets it. But besides that, I got nothing. They don't really have a bullpen. They don't have a bullpen. They don't have a bullpen. They're like the Phillies. They got no bullpen. Their pitching, besides Zach Gallen, who's got hurt swinging a bat, is a problem. And I don't know. I just don't see the D-backs doing that well. They got a solid squad, but it is not good enough. I feel like people don't realize how not good this D-backs team really is. That's why I have them coming in 4th place. Not much better than the Rockies, if I'm being honest. In 3rd place, I got San Francisco Giants. Don't get me wrong, Mike Yastrzemski, he's a beast. Got some good young arms, but this division, there's 2 teams in this division that are going to be the playoff teams, and we're not even good. They're basically a lock. I like the Giants too. They got Donovan Solano, he was good. Brandon Belt, a little bounce back season. I just don't see good things from him in the future. And I love Mike Yastrzemski, but I just don't see them getting into 2nd place with the 2 powerhouses like the Dodgers and the Padres. And I do think the Padres are going to be in 2nd place in this division, as good as they are. I mean, they got Blake Snell, Darvish. They lost 2 key bullpen arms in Kirby Yates and Trevor Rosenthal. Their bullpen is something to worry about. Don't get me wrong. It is not a strong bullpen. As good as their rotation is, the bullpen behind it is kind of scary. Their outfield is not spectacular either, but their infield is absolutely stacked. Machado, Tatis, Hosmer, they got Jake Cronenworth, they got that guy from Japan, I don't remember his name. Anyway, Padres are absolutely stacked. They're making the wild card, coming in 2nd place in the NL West, and 1st place is the Dodgers. Best team in baseball. They are so good, defending World Series champs. They even got better by signing Bauer. I don't even know how they got better by signing Bauer. The Dodgers might be one of the best teams of all time. I'm dead serious. Bauer is their third starting pitcher, and he won Cy Young last year. I don't even know what to say. This team is so good. All right, enough about normal divisions. We are going to actually move into postseason predictions now. Starting off with the American League wildcard, I got the Blue Jays and the Twins. Sorry, Angels fans. Sorry, baseball team. The Blue Jays are great. Twins are great. It's going to be a great matchup. but I do think Hyun-Jin Ryu in Game 1. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays to win the wild card over the Twins. Hyun-Jin Ryu super good with that stacked offense, and who are the Twins going to put out? Kenta Maeda? I mean, Kenta Maeda's great, but I don't know. I just got this feeling in Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's going to pull it out, and so will the Blue Jays offense. So moving into the NL wildcard, I got the Mets and the Padres. This isn't really much of a surprise to anyone. These are the two favorites for the NL wildcard. I got the Padres. They are such a good team. Blake Snell, Game 1 versus DeGrom. Actually, this is a close one. DeGrom versus Game 1. I have to go with the Mets, man. And now that I think about it again, it's the best pitcher in baseball. I know it's still Blake Snell, and I know the Padres are so much better offense. This is such a tough one, but I gotta go with the Mets because it's DeGrom. It's just DeGrom. It's the best pitcher on the planet versus, I mean, it's still Blake Snell. Oh, I'm going with the Mets. I don't care what you say. I'm going with the Mets. I'm going with the Mets, man. I'm going with the Mets. All right. Anyway, we're going to go with the Mets. Now, if we're going to look at our playoff seeding, we got the Yankees being the 1 seed in the American League, the White Sox being the 2 seed, and the A's being the 3 seed. So the Yankees will go up against the Blue Jays, and I think the Yankees are going to mop the floor with them in 4 games. Blue Jays just don't have any pitching behind Hyun-Jin Ryu, and I think when he gets his start, he will do well. But besides that, Yankees pitching and Yankees offense matches up with them. Yankees offense is as good as the Blue Jays, and their pitching is much better. I got the Yankees winning this one and going to the ALCS. Next, White Sox versus A's. A's always seem to have that little bit of magic, but I just got the White Sox. Lucas Giolito. They got Lance Lynn, too. I forgot about Lance Lynn. Wow. White Sox are a great team. I do think the A's are a great team as well. But this is kind of a weak AL West this year, and I do think that the White Sox will pull it out and face the Yankees in the ALCS. And Yankees versus White Sox. This is a tough one. Game 1, Lucas Giolito, Garrett Cole. I'm just gonna have to give it to Yankees. Yankees going to the World Series. I'm sorry. I know it's biased. I know you're screaming at your screen. United, you're biased. You're a Yankees fan. Stop. But I don't know. I just got so much faith in the Yankees. I feel like they're the best team in the American League. I feel that so well, and I'm trying to remove any bias from it. I love the Yankees too. They're going to get struck by injuries, but I still think they're going to pull it out in the playoffs and make it to the World Series this year. Now we're going to go over the NL. Dodgers are going to be the 1 seed. Braves are going to be the 2 seed, and the Cardinals will be the 3 seed. So starting off with Braves-Cardinals, Braves are going to win this one. Cardinals are a good team, don't get me wrong. The Braves are just so much better. Now we're going to go Mets-Dodgers. This shouldn't be close. The Dodgers are such a good team. They're just too good, man. Rematch from last year, the NLCS is going to be the Dodgers versus the Braves. And this is a tough one, man. The Braves were up 3-1 last year. But if I have a 1-2-3 punch with Kershaw, Buehler, and Bauer, and then Urias is a 4-starter, I have to give it to the Dodgers. I know this is boring. I know this is what everyone predicts. But I just think it's going to happen. I think the Dodgers are just such a good team. So good. They are so good. I don't even know what to say. They're just incredible. And now World Series. Yankees, Dodgers. What we've been saying for the past 3 years. We won the World Series. Finally going to happen. And I'm giving it to the Dodgers. I'm a Yankees fan. I want them to win so bad. But the Dodgers are a freaking super team. They might win 117 games. They might win 120 games. They are that good. They are such a good team. I can't even deny the fact Dodgers are winning the World Series. Goodbye. Have a good day, everybody.